Hey Orlando, is real estate crashing? This is a really big question that a lot of us are facing right now as we're starting to see the rise of inventory on the market right now. And there's actually 4.5 reasons why this could be happening. Yeah, 4.5. 4.5 reasons why we could be seeing the first stages of some form of real estate crash. It's hard to say if this is really happening, but here's what we're going to talk about. So inventory is on the rise, and as we're seeing more inventory hit the market, it's actually creating competition among sellers for the buyers who are available out on the market right now. And because of that, we're starting to see homes sitting a little bit longer on the market. Not in every area. Some areas are really desirable and we're seeing those move very fast. But in many areas, we're actually seeing homes sit a little longer. That's not necessarily a bad thing. What that's doing is that this surplus is actually creating additional pressure on these homes and bringing the price of these homes down into more of a correction of where they should be, because the demand is not just picking anything up anymore. So that's really one of the reasons, is as inventory rises, we're seeing that extra surplus of homes that is available is putting additional pressure on bringing these home prices down. The number 2 reason that we're seeing a surplus in housing right now is interest rates. Yes, home prices have gone up an amazing amount in the last couple years. And interest rates are not necessarily helping the situation. And while it's impossible to predict what's going to happen with home prices and also with interest rates, the higher cost is actually making it unaffordable for a lot of people to go out and buy what they could have bought before. And many people are just not willing to settle. We're seeing in many cases, because of the interest rates and what's happening with the home prices and the surplus inventory, that many people are just not willing to settle at this point in time. And if they're going to be spending a pretty penny to buy this house, they want to make sure that they're getting a good value. So we're seeing that actually contributing to the home prices actually start coming down as well, which is actually part of the intent of the Fed as they're putting together some of these rates, is they're hoping to jack the rates up enough to where they can start solidifying and balancing out the market a little bit to try to bring homes back into a more normalized level with what would happen in a regular economy. There's also some other things that are happening in the market. So 1 and 2 we've just discussed. Number 3 is there is a little bit of economic uncertainty. You see, as things start getting nationwide, this isn't just locally, nationwide, we're starting to see these same pressures happen nationwide. We're also seeing that there's a little bit of economic uncertainty. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, the Orlando area has been typically tourist heavy. And as some of those people decide not to come and spend their vacations in the area, that is bringing some of the problems back to roost in our economy. Now, is that entirely bad? Not necessarily. It's a correction. It could be something that could be worked out over a little bit of time. It's hard to say exactly where that's going to end up. But we are seeing that the economic uncertainty is actually putting a little bit of strain on people willing to buy homes as well. People are changing jobs, people are relocating, people are having to be, in essence, work nomads because they have to go from place to place. And Orlando is actually, we're starting to see that move out. Now, there are many reasons why people are going to be moving to Orlando in the near future to bring some of this economic stability back. We've seen a lot of initiatives. In one of my former videos, in fact, I gave a bunch of really good reasons as to what's going to be happening in the Orlando area. And you're going to see that all that stuff is going to really bring things back up very soon. But all those economic thrusts have not yet quite hit the Orlando market. And so we're seeing some of that economic uncertainty cause some strain on the market overall, which is adding to the inventory because people are leaving town. Now, the 4th reason that we're seeing this right now is a lot of people are still thinking this is 2021 and 2022 when people could just throw Jello at the wall and it would stick and they could sell it for like as if it was the Mona Lisa. Well, you can't do that right now, but a lot of sellers still have in their mind that they can overvaluate their homes and put unreasonable prices on these homes in order to be able to secure a buyer and that they're going to be able to get away with it. Well, those days are kind of over. And they've gotten to the point where some of these sellers are detached, completely detached from the fundamentals of the economics. For example, a home price has to be set on the income growth of the area. That's a big deal. And in some of these cases, the sellers have gotten a little bit detached from that, and home prices got a little detached from that when people were striving to come to Florida to enjoy the sunshine in all the days of 2021 and 2022 when things were all in a lockdown. That has changed. Now we're starting to see that correction happen because of the overvaluation. We're also seeing that the rental yields are not as strong as they once were back during 2021 and 22 as well. And so that overvaluation, not only of the rental market, but the housing market, is causing a bunch of inventory to rise to the surface and cause pressure on these homes to actually start coming down. It's very likely that it's not going to be sustained though. And here's the reason why. This is the reason 4.5. So 4.5 right here, the seasonal variation. We got a seasonal variation that happens every year in real estate. Real estate is always about a cycle. Sometimes the cycle is very busy, sometimes the cycle is a little slower. Sometimes the cycle slows down immensely, and sometimes it speeds up really fast. In certain times of the year, February is probably one of the higher points in the market, but summer is not always the highest point in the market. Sometimes the fall is a really good high point, but the typical traditional cycle has a seasonal variation. And sometimes the slower demand can also help bring up the rise in inventory and actually create additional pressure, because once again, you have so many homes that are available on the market that they have competition one with another. Sellers competing against other sellers to attract the same buyer pool, and we're seeing price homes start to reject those prices, and we're starting to see that correction. Can I say it's really a real estate crash that's happening? Probably not. This is probably just part of the cycle. Once some of these economic features come into play, we'll probably see the normalization of the real estate market, and if the interest rates do come down, it's very likely that we are going to see purchase prices go up again. So, having said that, there's a lot of really good information out there. This is always a really good time to buy, mainly because home prices have historically gone up, except for a very small section of time. They've typically always gone up. Well, if you like this, give me a comment, give me a thumbs up, or maybe you want a free consultation. Reach out, set an appointment. I'd be happy to chat with you and see what I can do to serve you and yours as you make a great decision as you move into the Orlando area. Also, there's a great section of free resources that are available to you. Just check out the links below. Happy to serve you and yours as you make your move into the Orlando area and make Florida your home.